Alright, welcome back to the Love of Food. What we're going to be making today, and we're going to be cooking it, we're just going to be prepping it so that way when we do cook dinners later on the week after work, everything's a little easier for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a stuffed chicken breast. So I have 3 breasts that I trimmed off all the fat and make sure there was no bones, and then I pounded it out on the countertop till about maybe like a 1/4 inch thick. Next we're going to do is we're going to cook our filling. Now your filling can be anything that you want it to be, whatever you have in the fridge, or if there's something specific that you're looking for. What I have in my filling today is I have some frozen broccoli, just a little bit that I had left over. I have some garlic and I have some red onion in there. So I'm just going to kind of cook that down. The broccoli was frozen when I put it in there. And then I'm going to add a little salt and pepper, and then grab a little bit of handful of cheese and throw that in there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we flipped our chicken so the skin side is down, and we still have the cellophane or plastic wrap underneath because we're going to have it help us roll it. You want to make sure what you're going to stuff it with. So this is my cheese and broccoli, onion, and garlic mixture. You need to make sure this is completely cooled because when we're going to put it on raw chicken, you don't want to cook the chicken or start cooking it. So I'm just going to put a nice 2 teaspoons to 1.5 tablespoons in it. And actually, we're going to align it almost like you're going to roll up a taco. So first, you're going to take the end of your saran wrap, and you're going to use the saran wrap. I don't know if you've ever rolled sushi before, but it kind of is the same basis. So you want to use the saran wrap, put your 2 fingers down, and then pull back. And as you can see, the plastic wrap is getting nice and tight. So once you do that, go ahead and release, and you can kind of see the chicken stays. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold the sides in now, but not all the way, just a little bit, so that way our filling doesn't come out. Okay, so that's one side. Hold it for a second. That's another side. Now I'm going to bunch up the saran wrap because now I want to make another roll with it, and I'm going to use that so that way I'm not touching the chicken, but in reality it just helps it to keep it nice and tight. Once, and I'm going to continue to roll it like that. So now you have your chicken. Now you can cook your chicken a few different ways. Before you cook it, if you wanted to cook it right now, you would have to let it freeze in the in the freezer for about 20 minutes. So that way it's actually pliable and you can actually work with it, because right now in its raw state, it's very soft. So if you wanted to cook it now, you'd freeze it for 20 minutes. But what I'm doing is I'm prepping it so that way I have everything ready to go and I can just put it in the oven one day this week. So what I'm going to do to mine is I'm actually just going to freeze it as is, because when I unfreeze mine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust it in flour and egg wash and some panko breadcrumbs, and I'm going to bake it. I don't know if you guys have ever had like a stuffed chicken breast, stuffed broccoli chicken breast. That's what we like doing in our family. You could also, cook it a few different ways. If you wanted to do more of the healthier route and no bread, then you just, take it out. You maybe stick a couple toothpicks in it if you wanted to cook it now, and bake it in the oven. Hi, and welcome back. What we did is now we are ready to cook our stuffed chicken breast. So we have the chicken breast that we took out of the saran wrapper, and what we're going to do is we have a flour and egg wash set up. So first we're going to dip the chicken and roll it in the flour, roll it in the egg wash, roll it in the breadcrumbs, and then we have our pot that has about a 1/4 inch of oil in it that we're going to fry the chicken off. We're only doing that to get the coating to stick and get that really nice golden brown, and then we're going to finish it in the oven. So I'm going to start with my one breast, and you always want to make sure your flour is seasoned. So I just have some salt and pepper in here. So I'm just going to roll it around in the flour. Make sure to get those bottom edges. And we're going to kind of shake off the excess because we just want it to coat it. That's about it. Okay, so there. And then from there, we're going to move it to the egg wash. Do the same thing. This is where you always want to kind of have a hand that's clean. I always do my dipping when I do the flour to the egg to the breadcrumb. I always do it with one hand because my hand is going to get dirty. Now, of course, you could wear gloves if you wanted to, but I'm one of those people that, I've always cooked with my hands, and I'm not going to start wearing gloves now. It doesn't bother me. So we're just going to let that excess egg drain off. And what I did was I did 2 eggs for this filling here, the egg wash, and then I did about a 1/4 cup of water. So now I'm just going to press down a little bit on the breadcrumbs. I'm going to flip it and then kind of take more and press more into it on and around the sides. Now, of course, I'm trying to use a smaller container here because I'm just doing one at a time. So make sure it's evenly coated. And then I'm going to take that, put it to the side. I'm going to continue doing my other 2, and then we'll pop them in and fry them off. Okay, so now we are ready to start frying. A good way to see if your oil is tested, you can kind of see I already have some flakes in there, is just to kind of drop a few pieces of breadcrumb in your oil. That way you don't want the oil too hot because you don't want it to burn, but you want it hot enough where it's going to cook. So I'm going to drop 2 of these in at a time. We're going to get our tongs, and we're going to let these cook. I have them on medium to medium-low heat, and we're going to cook these for about 2 minutes on either side. And then we have a plate that I'm going to take a paper towel, put the paper towel on the plate, so when those are ready to come off, we can stick them in the oven to finish off. Okay, so you can see we flipped one. The color's looking good. Obviously, we're cooking on gas, so not every single part of the pan is going to have the exact temperature. So we'll let the other one to the right sit in for about another second or so. And when you put your stuffed chicken breast in, you want to make sure that you do it with the side down first, because that helps seal those ends in that we rolled, and then the chicken that we rolled. So make sure to do it with the sides down.